Hello everybody. Right, a bit of an update as to where we are. We're in my apartment. It's time for this to be put back together and it's going to be a bit of a messy job. But it's one that needs to be done, and I'm kind of lucky in a way because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill each of these holes with glue. And I'm going to fill each of the holes here with glue. And when I say fill, I mean fill. I'm then going to put each one of these stays in, put them all in, knock them in a bit with a rubber mallet. I'm then going to put the top on, which will have been filled with glue, put that on, knock it down with the hammer or with the rubber mallet. Glue's going to squirt out everywhere, but what it should mean is that there should be more than enough glue to keep the stays in place. Once I've knocked the top down with the mallet, I'm then going to use my big clamps to basically clamp it down together, and I have just checked it and the clamps only just fit. So we're a bit lucky on that one. Like I said, it's going to be a bit messy. I'm hoping I've got enough glue in here. If I haven't, I have got some more glue. I mean, okay, it's a PVA glue. It's basically, it should be exactly the same, but this is more of a child-friendly one, really. But it was cheap, which means it probably won't work as well as one. Now, the issues I may come across. Well, the stays like to fall out, so I need to make sure they're in well. And if that means that I need to add a bit of packing into the holes, then I might have to do that like I did with the underneath. That's worked really well. Now when it comes to it all having dried, which may take a couple of days, because the glue that I put in those holes, and I put it in there to give me a cleaner and flatter base to put more glue in now, took a few days to dry completely, which surprised me, but I think it could be down to temperature. So if once it's all dried, if I'm not happy with how it feels it's connected together, I've then got an issue, because it needs to be secure. The main reason for repairing this chair is that the back pieces were not secure. Now if it comes to that, I've got a few options. One is nails or tacks, maybe some upholstery tacks, but yeah, I mean that's more for holding upholstery in rather than metal. It seems to be very wide to a very narrow point, whereas that's not really what I need. I just need the wood not to lift up. So maybe some longish thin pins might work. But what I don't want to do is split the wood. So for example, with this, if I felt that I needed to go through here, well, first of all, the wood doesn't go very far in there, the stays don't go very far in, but also whatever I do to this, I need to make sure I don't split it. I could go with using screws, but if I use screws, it could look shit, and I don't want it to look shit. So that's something I need to think about and I need to work out. So yeah, at least I've got a bit of time on that one. For now though, I need to get this gluing done. Now, I did spend a bit of time the other day off camera trying to make sure that I put the right stay in the right hole. I believe I have, because none of the holes are the same size, which means that three of the stays don't fit in one of the holes. So there's only one that can fit in one of these middle ones, which leaves three to go in the others, and a little bit of trial and error. I believe I've got them in the right order. So what I need to do at this point is now fill these holes with glue. I'm going to do those first because they're a bit awkward, and I know it'll take quite some time for those to dry, so I don't have to rush. I'm then going to fill those holes, okay? And as I said, this could get messy. I'm fully expecting it to. So let's crack on, shall we? Okay everybody, another update. It is together. I said it'd be messy, and it was messy. Had to cut the glue tub open because yeah, it was done, so I've had to scrape the barrel. So that is now scrap. So yeah, a couple of things didn't quite go to plan. Knocking the stays in with a hammer, they didn't want to go in, and that's where it's a good job I filled it with glue, because as I was tidying it up towards the end and it's all a bit awkward, I was thinking maybe I shouldn't have put as much glue in, but actually if I hadn't have done, there's more risk of it coming apart. Now annoyingly, the glue dried really quick, and I'm talking really quick, like there's bits on here I can't get off because it's pretty much dried. That kind of baffled me a bit, but it's meant that I've had to sort of clean it up as best as I can, and I'm going to have to do a bit of sanding on it. once it's dry to clean up all the glue residue. But with some of the excess, I did manage to reapply glue on the armrest bits. So yeah, so that's all good. It all seems to have gone together. Hammering down on the top didn't work either. The chair was just moving forward. So it was easier in the end just to get the stays in place, pull it down as much as I could, clean up that bit of glue, and then apply the clamps. And looking at it, yeah, I don't think they'd be going in any further, and I don't fancy pushing it to the point of breaking. So hopefully, sorry about that, I'm phone ran out of memory, and I am working on a solution to that, by the way. Okay, I'll just see my lights go off. Oh, must be, I'll have to charge it. Okay, yeah, so I don't think that's going to come down any further, so we'll just have to leave it now to see how it's going to be. Now, these feel very secure, but they will because of the clamps. It's how it all feels once the glue's all dried, the clamps have come off, and basically how long it would take for all of this to become disconnected. Time will tell. Okay, for now I'm done. I've just got to leave it to dry, and yeah, get on to the next bit when I can, of sanding it down, giving it a clean, and then going for the old finish, which I'm trying to decide whether to just go with an oil, like a Danish oil, or whether to French polish it. It might be something interesting to practice a French polish on. I've never done a French polish, but there's a couple of items I've got that could look good with a French polish, so maybe this is worth doing it. Right, so I'm going to bugger off in a second, but also at some point I am also going to be recording a video on this golf club, refurbing them. I'm going to pick up a tool to re-groove the grooves. I've been learning how to clean them up, and so that's what I'm going to try and do, and basically see if I can take a golf club that was this colour to basically shiny silver. So I'm practicing on this one because I've got a set of clubs that I'm interested in using, but refurbishing. But before I try refurbishing them, I wanted to try one of these, which it must have been a black headed club, and the black is basically coming off, so I figured, well, let's just take it off. Now I've got another club to try on, which is this one, a chrome one, which I haven't done anything to yet, but it'll be interesting to see the difference of not having to take a colour off, just trying to freshen that up. But also it'll be interesting to see how different the face of it is to deal with, because the face of it is pretty nasty. Also been looking at some techniques of how to make the shafts look a bit nicer. To be fair, the grip doesn't seem too bad. But there we go. So anyway, that's something else I'm going to be having a bit of a look at. So I think it's quite an interesting thing to do. A couple of bits of that though is there's a tool that I need. Now I know where I can get one for nothing, but I don't think it's something that I should use in here. It's something that needs using in a shed or a garage or a workshop, because otherwise I could end up spraying stuff all over the place. It's definitely not a in here item. I mean, to be fair, none of these should be in here items, but I'm dealing with what I'm working with. I am hoping really hoping to perhaps try and get a shed, so that the stuff that I can do out in the shed and not worry about any mess that I make. But sheds are not cheap. Now someone might say, well, build one. I don't want to have to go down that route. Okay, I could make the frame, I could attach the panels to it, but then I'll have to make a roof. That's another level. A level up, obviously. But it's a level above where I'm capable of at the minute. I'd much rather go, right, yes, I want that one please, and I want someone to come and put it up just there, thank you. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Right, so the chair is on its way, we're getting there. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. See you later.